Well, good evening and welcome to First Baptist Church on the Broad. Wait a minute, I did that the wrong way. The Broad, okay? My name is Keith Norman and I'm so glad to be with you today. We came back with another live installment of our Bible study. We've been doing what we think is best, and that's coming to you, first of all, with the faith emphasis and the scriptural emphasis of what we know and making sure that people get good information. The Bible says, my people are destroyed for a lack of knowledge. And so we want to give you a little information on tonight. One of the things that we have learned here in Shelby County, in Chicago, in Louisiana, in Alabama, we're getting numbers now out of Georgia. We're finding out South Carolina and North Carolina mirror the same thing. And that is COVID-19 is having a greater impact on African Americans than any other group. Typically, because of the comorbidities. What does that word mean? The other underlying issues, or the other deadly type diseases that tend to run high in the African American community. Not necessarily along poverty lines, but they do fall in areas where your zip code kind of determines your outcomes in the health disparities. But there are people who are affluent as well, who have high blood pressure and have all of these other concerns. And so if you have a coexisting morbidity or a comorbidity, something like heart disease, anything like high blood pressure, diabetes, or any obesity, let's not fight two fights at the same time. Listen, this is a good time while you're at home to get up and go for a walk, to change your diet, to do some fun stuff. I mean, experiment with those meals that you say, I don't even like that stuff. But if it's going to help me live, guess what? I can learn to like it. So there are some things I've learned to start eating that help me out a whole lot. When I go to the store now, I look for avocados. Amen. I didn't look for them 6 months ago, but now I go looking for them. Anything that's going to help my blood pressure, anything that's going to help sustain my immune system, I'm looking to build that up and to be stronger. I want you to call all of your friends. I want you to tell all of your friends we're live. We're going to do what we normally do. We brought people here tonight. We are socially distanced. They are 6 feet away or more, and we're going to talk a little bit about what's going on. I'm excited tonight that we're going to have a 3-part Bible study. The first part, always though, we start with our check-in from our congregational ambassadors. I'm excited tonight that I have Sheena Freeman with me. Sheena's sitting on my right. And then I have Earl Newsom over here. Earl, that's not Earl, that's Sheena. Then Earl is over here on my left. These are some wonderful people who I've had the privilege of serving with. I'll let them tell you how many years. It's been a long time. Sheena and I have worked together on many things. She's worked in our church. I'll let her introduce herself. And Earl, who we affectionately call Dad at church. Earl is the second person here on Sunday mornings. Typically, I'm here, or Anthony is here, and Earl is the next person walking in the door. He is that faithful guy who's getting it done long before worship ever starts. So I'm going to check in with them, and they're going to tell us how the congregation is doing. But first of all, tell us about yourself. Sheena, how are you?
Hello.
Tell us what you've been doing, how long you've been serving, what's been going on.
I guess I've been at First Baptist 10 years,
Okay.
believe it or not.
If you don't know, I don't know. Yeah,
Martrice
okay.
tells
10
me
years.
it's been about 10 years.
All right.
So I am a trustee on the board of trustees here. I serve in our after-school program.
Okay.
And wherever there's a need as well, I serve.
Great.
I also work in the healthcare field currently, but at First Baptist, I've been working in ministry for about 10 years.
All right, okay. How are the people doing? You have a list. You're one of
I
our
have a
congregation
list.
ambassadors.
And I've been able to reach many people. Some people I have not been able to reach, but I've left messages. But the people that I've spoken to, they have had so many great things to say about what First Baptist is doing. They have shared that they were so appreciative for the call. You know, they're like, wow, I can't believe you guys are calling. They're so appreciative for that. They're in prayer for the church as a whole, for you, Pastor Norman, and your family. They've been prayerful. I've had people sharing that they just want to give. How do I donate? How do I continue to contribute to the ministry? So that's always been good. I've had a great opportunity to just talk to people I've never maybe probably met before. So that's been a great opportunity to really kind of get connected
Yeah.
as well. So that's been really cool.
Good, good. Well, that's good. Let me turn over here and ask Mr. Earl. How you doing, bro? Earl, how you doing?
I'm doing fine, Pastor.
Good.
How you
Tell
doing?
us who you are and all that you do at First Baptist Church.
My name is Earl Newsom. I've been a member here since 2008.
Mm-hmm.
First position I took was working in the kitchen.
Yeah,
Then I became an usher.
yeah,
Then I finally became a deacon.
yeah.
So now I'm deacon, usher, volunteer, working in the kitchen, helping everybody do anything they need help done.
Now, if you got had to choose one of those that you were gonna stay on forever, would it be the kitchen?
Pastor, that's you know that's a long question.
Earl's wife works in the kitchen, and I know that. I know. Go ahead, bro, Earl.
Okay, you probably right. Though.
I thought so.
Probably a lifetime serving there.
Yeah.
But
How are the people, Earl?
the people are real good, Pastor. The ones I've talked to now, there's quite a few people whose phone is no longer in service or the numbers have changed. But the one I talked to thanked me very personally that First Baptist asked us to call them.
Mm-hmm.
And it brings a smile to their faces.
Yeah.
That First Baptist care about them.
Yeah.
And people relates to me some of the issues they're going through with. I relate with them some of the stuff that I'm going through with, which is not a whole lot, other than thanking the Lord every day that I'm still able and capable of getting up, going to work, and taking care of my wife in the house, and mow my yard and do all the things I do.
Yeah. So, Earl, what has been one of your greatest joys or your greatest moments in talking to a person? Sheena, I'm going to ask you that same question in just a moment.
Well, it was when we called a lady, and she just started to cry.
Yeah.
She said she was so thankful that we thought enough of her to call her. And, that touched my heart, that somebody would actually start crying because I called them.
Yeah.
It wasn't tears of sadness, they were tears of joy.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then quite a few people have called back if
Yeah.
I left a message for them to call me back.
Yeah. Is it okay for your list to call you back?
Oh, yes.
Okay, good.
Because if they can't get me, they're going to get my wife.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. So, Earl, I want you to do this. We give everybody an opportunity in this segment to pray for the people on their list and to just utter a word of prayer. Go ahead and pray for the people that you've been.
Father God, I want to thank you for the opportunity to call people and list their see what's wrong with their issues or what's going on in their life, God. We thank you for another day, God, because you didn't have to wake us up this morning.
Yeah.
We thank you, Lord, that you bless us every day that we wake up and give us air to breathe. We thank you, Lord, that the COVID virus is not taking everybody out, God, just some. And some of us are strong in your word and going to depend and lean on you, God. We thank you, God, for everything that you do, everything that we're going through. We will grow from it, God. We will learn how to be more sociable, how to get along with people better, God, without being angry, or learn how to forgive people, God, because you never know when the last time you're going to see them.
Yeah.
And now it's ain't got to worry, you can't have but 10 people at a funeral, God. So we're going to have to learn how to forgive and love and take care of one another every day of our lives, Lord. The Bible says men have many days but don't know how to count them. It also says that we will learn how to count our days in peace and joy and happiness, and our days will be lengthened upon this earth. Father, we thank you for everything that you're doing.
Yeah.
And I thank you for the people that I'm calling, reaching out, touching, God. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Brother Earl. Thank you for joining us. Stay right there for just a moment. Sheena, tell me about what your greatest joy, some of your most touching moments have been with the people you've called.
Because I've talked to first responders, healthcare workers, educators, one of the greatest joys has been a principal that I spoke to who he's really struggling with the fact that he's not with his students, and those who are graduating this year. So he started with them. So he's, that's a struggle for him. But that was really touching because, like you've said, people who serve, they miss the people that they serve. So
Right.
that's been touching. And I've had an opportunity to meet with a lady. She shared with some different herbs that she's using to help her immunity. You were
Right.
talking about the immunity system.
Right.
And she encouraged me. She's donating blood. So I work in healthcare, so I said I should be doing that as well. So I told her because she's going to do it, I'm going to do the same. So just having those relatable conversations and just, again, talking to people I probably never would have or have met has been one of the greatest joys, I think.
That's good. Would you take the moment to pray for the people whom God has given you to call and help to shepherd in this season?
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Dear God, we just want to say thank you for this opportunity, God. God, each and every person that you've assigned to me on my list, God, I ask and pray that you would touch them individually and collectively, God. God, you know what everybody stands in need of, so I ask and pray that you would do whatever the people are in need of, God. God, give each and every individual peace and comfort during this time, God. God, help them to know that you are always there for them and you have never left them, even during this time. God, I ask and pray that each and every one of us will be much better when this is all over, God. God, I pray that something we will have learned during this time that will allow us to know after this, God, that what we need, you've already been there, and we just need to continue to be steadfast and prayerful to you, God. Continue to strengthen and keep us in all that we do. Bless those who have lost loved ones during this to the COVID-19 disease, God. Continue to build and strengthen us, each and every one of us. In the name of Jesus, I pray. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Sheena. Thank you, Mr. Earl Newsom. Thank you all for joining us tonight, and thank you for being a part of our congregational ambassadors and continuing to reach out to people. So the fun part is about to begin. We have been talking each week with healthcare professionals and people who are in that area of mind, body, and soul. So they are spiritual people, doctors and nurses and other healthcare administrative professionals in our congregation. And I've been asking them every week, how do I lead and what do we need to share with our people? One week they said, well, so many people are concerned with financial things. And so I said, yeah, they are. So we had a financial professional on, Daryl Quarles. You may remember him from 2 weeks ago. And then the week after, we had Dr. Charlotte Freeman on, who talked about the mind. And so we recognize that these are important subjects. And so this weekend, when we were having our conversation and preparing for Bible study and getting the advice, and I said, y'all, what do we do this week? And one of the doctors chimed in and said, people need to get their hair done. People need to exercise. People need to walk, and they need to get their nails done. What happens when you don't get to do all of those services that you are used to doing and the things that you do on a weekly basis? You know that hair appointment you have and that nail appointment and that barbershop appointment? It's more than just getting the services. It's something about your health, your mental wellness. It's the look good, feel good. And so I'm excited that LaShondra, where's Tukey? I thought she was on her way up here. There she is. Okay, Tukey Walker is with us. She is one of our longtime, I said Tukey, your real name is LaShondra, right? So I'm supposed to call her by her real name, not a stage name. All right, Tukey has been with us teaching Mixed Fit for how many years now?
We just hit 3 years right before the world closed.
3 years before the world closed down, all right? And Tukey, you know, you are a living example of health and wellness, what you've been doing. You shed some weight and decided to not only do it personally, but you did it as a ministry to help other people. And so you've done it here at our church every Monday for 3 years, and then the world shut down. So how do we help people to maintain at home? You just talk to us and tell us what we need to know.
So it was really funny that our anniversary was right as everything was kind of closing down. I was looking for ways to kind of reach more people and to kind of fellowship, because it is a ministry for me. Movement is ministry. Faith without work is dead. We can't do anything without moving. We can't serve without moving. We can't love without moving. We just can't do anything without
You got to be able in order to serve.
Right.
Amen.
And for me, I met my father's side of the family, and there was a change of my medical history I had no idea about. So with all of this kind of coming into play, some of those underlying diseases and things that we were talking about, it really struck for me, okay, we have underlying diseases plus COVID-19 and plus We just need to shed weight and be healthier as a people. So for me, it immediately, what can we do? Live classes, what can we do? What kind of movement can we do? So me and my persons, my mentors, and a couple of other leaders, the Zumba community, Mixed Fit community, most of our gyms and everyone, they're all closed, but we immediately came together. Can we go live? They initially told us no.
Wow.
They told us no. We kept at it. They finally relaxed it. They said, just don't save your work. Fine, as long as we can keep the people moving. It wasn't about money. It isn't about money. It's about ministry and keeping our people healthy and moving. So with that, we've started live classes. You can almost Google anybody, any of your favorite instructors. I guarantee you can find them right now.
Right.
We do those live classes. Get it up and moving by any means necessary. That means getting up out of your chair.
Right.
If that means up and down. And I personally have to set reminders. So we set reminders, Fitbit, Apple Watch, use your cell phone, use your old school rooster clock that you have at home, whatever you have, just to set a reminder to get up every hour or so.
You used the word that I think is interesting. You didn't necessarily put the burden of the E word, exercise. You just said movement.
Move.
All right. How simple is movement?
Exercise is a curse word for some people, so movement. So I like to say movement because it is, and it's literally, we're moving.
We're moving.
We're moving.
Right.
We're moving.
Right.
We're moving. So getting up and down out of your chair, walking around your house.
Right.
You can walk from your kitchen, which we all like to frequent right now. Walk from your kitchen to your living room. Take the long way.
Right.
You can go through another room, walk in your driveway, walk outside, walk in your backyard. Some of
Right.
us hadn't seen our backyards.
Right.
So literally move, just as long as your body is in motion. You can sit down and move. There are people in wheelchairs. They still need to move. Move your arms.
Yeah.
Use some of our practical items. Bottle of
Okay.
water, a
Okay.
candle, a canned good.
Wow. So I can take canned goods and lift them.
I do it. My mama calls me crazy all the time because I'll pick up a candle, I'll pick up a canned good. This is gonna burn you a few extra calories just by this pound and a half.
So let me just keep it real, okay? All right. You know why I pastor, right? So I can take a 40 ounce and I can do this with it. And can I have it when no, I'm just kidding. All right.
Everything in
No,
moderation.
but I'm just everything in moderation. Okay. Just checking.
Everything in moderation. But,
Thank you.
But seriously, some people may pick that 40 up and use it, or
Okay.
that bottle of wine. That is their reward when they
Right,
get done.
right.
But that's seriously some of the things that you have to think about in wellness. Hydrate.
Right.
But if you're going to have your wine, make sure that you're hydrating. Make sure that you are using these things to your ability, to your advancement.
Right.
There's so many different ways we can move. We can still walk. The government has not told us we can't walk outside.
Yeah.
We can walk. Take your mask with you. There is not a lot of U.S. research just yet, but there's research from the Brazilian researchers, and they're saying if we're outside doing a normal stride, just getting your heart rate up, we want to keep at least about 15 feet apart, not just your normal 6, but if you need to keep 6, keep our mask with us. If we're jogging, cycling, any of the birds or whatever we're doing, you're going to exert a little bit more energy, and there's going to be particles that can go forth.
Right.
So they're saying that you may need to be as far as 65 feet away if you don't have a covering on your face.
Right.
So that's just some of the things to think about if you're out. But we can move. Just don't go have a party at the park.
Right. Don't have a party at the park. That's a real good way of saying it. So you brought some information you want to share with us. Is that something?
This is fine.
Yeah, okay, well, no, feel free. And anything you want to tell us, because it's important that there are different age groups.
Yeah.
There are different age groups of people. And some people can't move like other people move. What do you recommend for them?
And I actually have, in my classes, I have people all the time that are literally, I think I've gone down to the age of 6, and then my eldest was 80
Wow.
thus far. So even in the class, even if you don't feel like you can do a mixed fit, again, they're getting up and down out of a chair. There's YouTube. You can find things that you can do. I just ask those people to just keep walking. Give me a 2-step. You can step from one side to the other. Or if for that day, getting up and down out of that chair, moving to a different chair, a higher chair, a lower chair, whatever they can do to keep themselves moving. If their goal for the day is moving from the living room to the kitchen, that's your goal for the day. But you need to do that a couple of times for the day. And that's not only for the elders, even those of us that are not working from home, or if you are working from home, you're going to sit in that chair all day long and you get stiff.
Yeah.
So for
yeah.
every age group, just moving, any kind of movement. When you're on those conference calls, walk and talk.
Movement helps the mental stress,
Absolutely.
helps the heart rate, it helps the focus.
Endorphins.
Sometimes you just need to take your mind off of, and a good time to move is when the news comes on and you've been watching it all day anyway. You say, well, I'm going to walk during that hour this time. So I've watched the 7 o'clock, I've watched the noon news, instead of watching the 5 or 6 o'clock and being inundated with all of this COVID information. It might be a good time to walk in the evening or to get up and walk in the morning. That's good. All right.
Good endorphins.
What other tips would you give us?
If we can use, you guys can check out YouTube. We can actually go out to, if you have cable subscriptions, there's free things out there for everybody that'll, if you want to look up a walk-in place in your home, all of this is out there free for you. Don't necessarily have to come and look for me, but you can, search for me on Facebook. They have my contact information up. You can email me, and I'm also on Facebook at FitFam, the quarantine edition. But if you look out there, making sure you're still eating, you still have to eat. Watch our snacks. If we pick snacks that are, more healthy for us if we can, or just moderate them.
Right.
It's everything in moderation. Hydrate ourselves and just keep some type of movement. Do something that's going to make you jovial and something that you can get a good laugh in every day.
Right.
All that stuff, and getting good rest at night.
Someone just texted me a question, and people do that, and I don't know how you want to deal with them, but one of the questions they asked me was, do you write out exercise plans?
I don't personally. I'm not a personal trainer because as I do platforms, but there are people that I can put you guys in touch with if that's something that they
And we do
desire.
have a personal trainer here in our church as well that I can put you in touch with, and we can make sure that
Absolutely.
person can get that. Another question was, what are your recommendations when it comes to the amount of weight that a woman should lift?
That is going to be, for me, I always tell everyone to check with a physician. And then, our thing is always we don't want to start to look manly
Right.
when we're working out. So work closely with the trainer. If you're at a gym, of course, they're closed now, but most of them are offering free consultations right now just to kind of tell you what you should be lifting. At home, right now, you're not going to find, a whole lot of things that you can lift, but once we get back to our regimen or someone that you can speak with, they'll base it on your body weight and your body mass.
Okay.
So that's going to be able to keep you safe and see what your goal is. Is it just to shed weight and just to kind of thin down, or is it to actually build muscle?
Right.
So that's when you go into the switching your meals from carbs to proteins and things of that nature.
Wow. You know a lot about this. You've been doing it a while. Okay,
10-year
so
journey.
the last one, and we're done. Areas to target, what can we do? All right, I want my arms, what are the areas that people like to target?
For most men, it's going to be their arms, and they want, their chest to be broad and things of that nature. So you're lifting. And believe
So
it or
bros
not,
want to look like me, pretty much what you're saying. No,
look
okay.
just like that. But seriously, I mean, some of these
Okay.
small sculpting weights that we take for granted, these
Right.
little things, are going to build more muscle superficially than you think they would.
Okay.
So you're lifting your rows, your bicep curls, your tricep curls.
Okay.
Anything of that nature that you can actually do to lift, and that's going to small sculpting weights is going to get you your sculpt. Now, of course, it's not going to get you if you're lifting bench pressing 250 pounds, but that's what you can aim towards. But small sculpting weights, your canned goods, whatever you have at the house, just to literally make you use those muscles. But your body can be a weight as well. Just tighten those up and move them.
Okay, good deal. All right, good.
And
Thank
for-
you.
Yes,
Thank
sir.
you. What else do you want to share with us before we wrap this segment up? But this is all good information. I don't want to hinder anything.
That's all I have. I just wanted to make sure that people get an idea, just get kind of the ball rolling that we can move. You don't have to, all the gyms closed, the world is ending. No, it's not. There's so much more that we can do at home with our own bodies. You can do a push-up, and it doesn't have to be on the floor. You can do a push-up and push up.
Right.
So it's twofold.
It's
You can do
twofold.
bicep dips from a chair.
Right.
Anything that just to get the brain thinking about stuff that we can do.
Good stuff.
The squat up and down out of that chair. That's a squat if you think about it.
Right.
So, but
Okay.
there's several moves that we can do and things that we can do around our house. So hopefully the conversation has gotten people to think, oh, I really can do something in my home.
Right. That's good. Thank you so much for spending this time with us. When I called you, you were so excited and ready to come and to share with us. We look forward to the day that we get back to our Zumba,
Yes,
our
sir.
mixed
I
fit,
miss my people.
right here in our own church. But until then, you continue to be well, continue to share with us. Would you put her information up again so people know how to get it? And they can figure out how to log on, so they can log on, they can find you and find a whole community of people out
Yes.
there who are doing this right now. Thank you very much. While that information is up, we got two more guests who are going to come and join us. They're going to come and share with us some wonderful information that I think is so important while we are looking at that. So, how important is it to feel good about yourself, mind, body, and soul? And so, when you think about it, I have two people who are coming to share with me. We just saw the Queen of Mixed Fit. Now I got the Queen of Hair and the Queen of Hands coming. The Queen of Hair is coming. I call her Cassandra Bynum. She and I have been friends, man. She's been a member of this church for as long as I've been here. I think when I came, she came. And so she was here before I got here, actually. And so her family was a part of this church for many years. And then Keisha Scales, such a good friend of mine, business owner. And these two ladies, they're going to tell us about things that you can do in your own home. That's right. I've been looking at some of y'all. You know, I saw some of y'all when you did your communion at home the other day. One lady had 8 fingernails on and 2 off or something like that. And it was, I mean, yeah. So we're going to have to work with that. All right. So we brought some help for everybody on tonight. Please welcome Keisha. Thank you for showing up. Tell us who you are. Tell us about your wonderful endeavor. Tell us about how long you've been in business. Just tell us. Talk to us.
Wow. Well, thank you, Pastor, for having me on this evening. It was a great honor for you to call me and ask me to be a part of this panel. But I've been doing nails for 25 years, I think, or so. It's been a long time. So.
Wow.
But I do have a nail salon here in Memphis, Spoil Me Nail Bar. I also recently opened a nail academy, Premier Nail Academy. That's just opened this year, but I'm excited about all of it.
So you now teach. You now do it on another level.
Yes.
Okay,
I mean,
great.
It's best to teach what I already know.
Won't he do it?
Won't he do it?
I remember when we were praying about that and talking
Exactly,
about that.
exactly.
And tell me a little bit about what it feels like to pray about something and God gives it to you, and then this kind of thing happens.
Well, you know, I think that it's a process. You know, our process is praying about it and going through the process of gaining the knowledge and everything that we need to get to that point. And then sometimes, you know, when things like this happen, it's almost like it gives you a chance to reevaluate, to make some of the things you thought were intricate in the beginning to have time to make things better. So, you know, it's not really a negative always.
Doesn't make you want to quit?
Oh, no.
Doesn't make you want to give up?
No. Initially, if you don't process it the right way, of
Yeah.
course, you know, the enemy always going to step in. You know, without him, you know, we wouldn't do right all the time.
Right.
But we always have those times and moments of fear and concern and processing, you know, what is my next move? What do I do next? How do I move forward? But, you know, you've always taught us, you know, here at First Baptist Broad, is to stand still, to stand on what you've taught us, stand on what we know, stand on those prayers that you prayed about, those things that you asked for.
That's right.
You know, you have to stand on them and allow God to show you in His own time how it's going to work out. You know, it never works out how we foresee it, because if that's the case, we probably wouldn't pray for stuff half the time. So.
Do you preach like this when you do people's nails?
Well, you know, we communicate about some other stuff now.
You preaching nails at the same time. I mean, you got that word pretty strong in there.
We talk about a lot of things, but you know,
Yeah.
the word always has to come in play, because just as my customers help me and preach to me and lead me and guide me and feed me, I feed them too. So it's a back and forth. It's a give and take type situation.
I want you to hold that thought. I'm gonna come back to you in a moment, but that fellowship that you all have. My friend, son, how you doing?
I'm great. How are you?
Son, you glowing over there, ain't you?
Am I?
You got the sun on. Yeah, that's why they call you the son. Son, how long has it been? How long have you been doing it? How long we known each other? We go way back.
Yeah, we go way back from the first time you came. I think you came in November, and I came back in January.
Right.
When I found out you was here.
Right.
So it's been that long.
It's been that long.
It's been that long.
Yeah.
In business,
We ain't gonna tell nobody what year it was. We're just gonna say it's been that long.
It's been that long.
Right.
And in business, I'll tell you this. I graduated from high school in '86. I graduated from hair school in '88.
Right.
So it's been on.
It's been on doing.
It's been on ever
So
since.
this is what you've been doing all your life.
All my life.
So have you ever seen anything like this?
In my 52 years, I have never seen our world like this.
Wow.
Never. I never would have thought. And for me not to be in my regular schedule. You know, it's like mentally depressing, you know, because my customers and I, we see each other. I mean, this is like a every week thing.
Right.
You know, I look forward to seeing my customers. I mean, I'm off work maybe, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Tuesday night, I'm ready to go to work.
Right.
That's how much, you know.
So you miss the fellowship of being with your
Oh,
customers.
yeah. We learn a lot of things in the beauty salon.
Yeah.
Yeah, we
You
talk
can't
about
tell
a
it
lot.
all, but you
No,
can.
we can't tell none of it. It's like Vegas.
Right. It's like what happens in the beauty salon stays in the beauty salon.
That's it.
Yeah.
And my customers, they miss me too.
They
You
do.
know, yeah, they do. They call. I've had my customers collected money for me and blessed me with a card. And it was just beautiful.
Yeah.
I cried. I was
Right.
like, oh my God.
Right. So there's some love that goes on in the salons.
Oh, yes.
It's not just, and I had one of our barber brothers who was going to be here with us tonight, but he couldn't make it. But I can speak to the barbershop end of it. I can't speak to it recently, but there's some love that goes on in the shops and some fellowship
It
that we
is.
just miss being with each other.
It is.
Exactly.
Yeah, and so you all feed each other. Your customers feed you, you feed them, and you feed yours, and they feed you.
Exactly, all the time.
Yeah, so you were saying something a moment ago, Keisha, and I want you to pick up on that thought about that fellowship, that love, that exchange. And then tell us about some of this stuff you brought here. And then Son got some stuff she's going to tell us about. Because I want y'all to tell us what we can do at the house that's, we can do while we're at the house. All right? Talk to us.
Well, I mean, to speak on just the fellowship, you have asked us, what has this COVID virus time done for us? Of course, for all of us, the first few weeks, it was challenging because you were so used to being in the rigmarole of, going to work and coming home and going to work and coming home and resting. But, this time for me, because I was busy with, being an educator, being a volleyball mom, traveling with that, being a mom of a senior and just all those activities, and then being a wife too. So I was just busy. But this time of not working and not having to go to a destination every day, to be at an appointment at a certain time, it really plays on your mind as far as what was my value, what was my self-worth, who was I valuable to now? Not that my husband or my daughter wasn't important, but just all the people that you were missing and feeding every day and being fed from every day. That too took a moment. So I don't want to call it a depression, but you kind of felt left out.
Yeah.
You felt left out, like,
You
okay.
missed the connection.
Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. So, getting past that and realizing, okay, Keisha, snap out of it, because you have to find a valuable way to use this time off.
Right.
I rebranded my webpage. I kind of, added some new services, reached out to my nail techs trying to figure out, because I have 4 other nail techs that work with me. So, not only am I trying to help build my life, but I'm trying to help them maintain theirs too.
So as an entrepreneur, and I think you said you have 4 others who work with you.
Exactly.
So you have to be considerate of the impact that it's having on them,
Exactly.
as well as to take into. But the bills keep flowing.
The bills keep flowing. And just as I fed myself, we're just standing still. Luckily, we've had companies to kind of reach out to help us through this time. We've had some nail businesses and some other businesses to help out to fill the gaps. But when you're talking about spreading a $500 check between 4 or 5 people, how far can that go?
Right. Son, what about you? You have people that you have to be concerned about as well?
I have a shampoo tech.
Right. And so.
And I still, she don't get her full pay,
Right.
but she still gets paid.
That's a big-hearted person. Both of you are very big-hearted. And this is having an economic impact on you.
For sure.
You mentioned that you're a mom, you take care of, you got a daughter going to college.
That's right.
You have a
That's
son, yeah. So we have families that we take care of, right?
Yeah.
So tell me, what can women do and what can men, we don't get all the fancy stuff, but we don't want to walk around looking like Nebuchadnezzar by the hands either. So what can women do or what can people do at home to kind of get through this season?
Well, I really wanted to bring just some few simple things, but I wanted my clients to know I'm missing nails. I got about 5 nails still on. So
Hallelujah.
I kind of want them to know that I was standing in solidarity with them to figure if I can't service them, I'm not servicing myself as well.
I'm gonna say something about that at the end of
Okay.
this hour.
It
That's
just
important.
It
That's
just shows
important.
that I'm going through the storm too.
Right, right.
You know, I can easily stop by my shop and fix them, but I wanted to feel or let them know that I was going through the same struggles and pains, and that point of being vain and wanting to be on point all the time. You know, we all got to go through it together. So
Right.
if we're going to go through staying at home together, we got to go through the pain of not being
You're
together.
saying something that I've been saying to people about this experience, but it's on a bigger scale. And that is, it is not until we all feel the same inconvenience.
Exactly.
And it is not
Exactly.
until we all feel the same pain that we're going to be able to flatten the curve
That's true.
and get this thing behind us.
That's true.
As long as some people have privilege and as long as some can exercise certain privileges and say, well, it's not impacting me,
Right.
then it's going to be around a long
Right.
time. But when all of us buckle down and say, you know what? I haven't been dropping off stuff at the dry cleaners. I've been wearing some old shirts and going through some old clothes. And I've been saying, okay, I'm about to lose 5 pounds to get a knee
Yeah.
right here, you know, and I've been doing that. I haven't had a haircut. I do know somebody who I could call, but I thought about it. I got some men in my congregation that may not have that same privilege. And then I don't
Exactly.
want to encourage it
Exactly.
and send them out there to risk their lives. So I
Exactly.
appreciate you for
Well,
saying
thank you.
that.
Hopefully,
Tell me about it.
Hopefully, my clients do too. So.
They do.
But you know, we have simple things around our house. You know, a lot of my clients are calling now asking how do I remove what I have on, because as it grows out, it just doesn't look good. So my best suggestion was just take everything off and let's just start fresh and new when everything's lifted. So simple things. You know, now the beauty supplies are still open, but most of them have drive-up services. So you drive up and pick up things. So there's still ways to get things, to do these things that you need to do. So simple acetone. You know, acetone inside of a glass bowl does great for anybody that has acrylic enhancements. You need files and buffers, to help file through the product. But when you talk about people that have the soak-off gel polish or soak-off dip powder, and I know you don't know.
I don't know. Would Bitmo know what you're talking about?
Don't worry about it.
That's
Don't worry
good.
about it. Don't worry about it. But simple things, cotton. Simple, that Reynolds wrap that you got at the house, cut it up in some squares. Put some cotton inside with your acetone and just wrap your fingers and allow that product to soak off. And that's going to be the best way. So while they sitting watching Lifetime, watching that BT movie, whatever it is they want to do, they can sit and soak during that
So
time
you
frame.
wrap it with some cotton and some Reynolds wrap.
Aluminum foil.
Aluminum
That's it.
foil. Wow, just like that.
That's it.
Okay.
Well, you got to have acetone.
Gotta
too.
have
Now,
acetone,
Gotta
okay.
have that. That's the number one. If
That's
you
the
don't
stuff
have
that
that,
stink real bad and give you a headache, right?
well, who said smell it? Nobody said
The
sniff
men
it.
say it do. That's what I say. But I just go out the house when my daughter start doing it. Go ahead.
But once you kind of get all that product off, and then you got to cut your nails down, so you got to have you some regular old fingernail clippers.
Right.
And then just put some regular clear coat on. Just put some regular nail polish on, just to kind of put moisture back into your nails, just to wait until they.
Because you really don't have to match it up to your ball gown because the ball been canceled, right?
That's it.
So
right now,
yeah.
color doesn't even matter. Just
Color
go
don't
clear.
even
Just
matter.
go clear.
That's cool. We're going to come back to you in a moment,
Okay.
all right? So, son, you got a lot of stuff over there.
Yes, I do.
Talk to me. Give me some. Now, wait a minute. We were born with a straightening comb. I don't see no straightening comb over there. Where the
Well-
kitchen magician at? I mean, come on, like mama and them used to do. You know how you used to say,
okay.
you got to get, you ain't got no Queen
close.
Bergamot over there.
Come close.
Come on, talk to me. What you got over there?
Well, first of all, I want to let everybody know that these products that I have up here, I get all my products from Essentials Beauty Supply, curbside. You can call her, 6305 Winchester. Professional line, everything.
Right.
She'll deliver, black owned. But all of these products come from her beauty supply. Her
Okay.
name is May Smith. And the reason why I don't have a pressing comb up here is because so many people are natural,
Okay.
even me.
Okay.
And I did this at home last
Okay.
night, slept in the rollers and everything.
Right.
And got me an afro.
Right.
So I just want to tell you the things that you can do. Everybody just about know how to press their hair because that's taught, that's taught when you're babies or whatever. But this generation, they don't want no heat.
Right.
They don't want heat in their hair. No
Okay.
blow dryer, no heat, no flat irons, no nothing. So that's why I brought these products.
Okay.
These products can be maintained. You can maintain your hair. All you need is a good moisturizer, a good conditioner. I have a conditioner, but it's like a big thing. But it's by Cure Care. Any line, Cure Care whole line is good, and they have a natural line. Put your moisture back in there. Rinse. I know everybody, that rinse, they really, really, really miss that rinse.
Yeah.
So this is a good rinse.
It's some men I know that miss that
Oh,
because
yeah.
I saw
Oh,
one of
yeah.
my friends the other day and he looked like Wolverine. I ain't gonna call his name, but I didn't know he was that great.
Yeah.
But yeah, Eric Gibbons. Yeah, I didn't. I mean, no. I mean, go ahead.
But yes, just keep your hair moist. Put that moisture back in there after you detangle it, and a nice conditioning oil. That's it. But to tell you how I got this dude, this is my prized possession.
All right.
Nairobi foam lotion.
Okay.
I love this. This do everything.
Do everything.
So what I did was I put this in my hair and I rolled it simply with these.
Okay.
And like I said, I slept in the rollers, woke up with a headache, but I slept in the rollers because I'm like her. I'm struggling with my customers too.
Right.
I don't have eyelashes. I miss you, Adrian. I miss you. But
So that's a new and that's an evolution. I didn't know that part of the industry was growing as vastly as it is. The
I'm
lash
so happy to have
industry.
somewhere to go.
So you
'Cause I
don't
could
buy
do
them
my
in the store and
own.
hook them on no more. You go get them
No,
put
I
in
don't.
one at a time.
Yes.
And those individuals, because you can't do your work socially distanced. 6 feet, you can't do
You
it.
can't do it.
You can't, your arms are not that long.
You can't do it.
And I want you both to address that because it is projected that as we even come out of this, social distancing will still be a part of what we have to do. So how will you deal with that and how will you combat that? I'll start with you as you continue to tell us what you want us to know.
And I don't know how it will work in a salon because I work with a staff of 10. So is it that's all can go in, or are we allowed 2 people a piece? Or I don't know. I don't
Right.
know how that's going to
There's
work.
so much to figure out
I
coming
don't
out
know
of this, right?
because you said it depends on the size of the building. Well, our salon is not this size.
Right.
You know what I mean? And I don't know.
Right. So there are so many things that you're going to have to rethink, and so many things you're going to have to rethink in terms of how the distance will play out. One of the things that I would recommend to all of our brothers and sisters who are working in these industries are to get the questionnaires that are on the CDC website that just basically ask people questions. Where have you been? Have you had a fever in the last day or so? Are you demonstrating any symptoms of COVID-19?
Right.
And don't be afraid to get you one of those thermometers that kind of shoots right there to measure the temperature, because if people have a temperature and they've been running it at 100 or 99.9 for a day or so, they may be symptomatic. Then there are asymptomatic people. So what you don't want to do is, first of all, yourself be contagious. Then it might be wise to invest in the PPE, in
Right.
the facial
Exactly.
coverings,
Exactly.
so that we don't share it. What do you think?
Right.
I mean, there have been some nail companies that have offered us the clear face shields along with the mask. But, not being able to stay away 6 feet is going to be, very, very challenging because our jobs are hands-on. But I do suggest that, we just have 1 or 2 clients in the salon. Do a client at a time. We're so used to having 2 or 3 people waiting for us. Now, we're going to have to cut back on that wait time service. We're going to have to cut back on having people bringing friends and bringing extras to come and hang out while they're getting their services.
Yeah,
It's
because
gonna
there's
have
two
to be-
brothers come to my barber shop that don't even have hair. They just like to come sit in there and
hang
tell
out all day.
stories all the time.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I just think, narrowing it down to when you have that client, appointments are going to come back into being popular again. Having one person at a time, and of course, sanitize. We're going to have, I liked how the church had as soon as you came in, it's like, clean your hands. You
Right.
got to do this first. So I think just implementing sanitizing before we start. Of course, we should have been doing that already. But cleaning down our stations once a client leaves, and just re-clean things down to make it proper and ready for the next client. But this time is definitely going to bring on a change for all of us. It's going to help us to reevaluate how the norm that we used to do. We're going to have to get creative and find new ways to making the simple things work.
So have either of you business women thought about what it means to look into some of this availability opportunities have you thought about that?
I have. I've reached out for the paycheck protection plan because, again, I have employees. So,
Right.
it's a process, but it's a process worth having, knowing that I'm able to allow my techs to know that, I'm thinking about you too during this time and not just thinking about myself. So being able to give them, funds. Luckily, I have a husband, but some nail techs are single parent households. So
Yeah.
when she's not coming to the salon to work every day, she's not taking money home every day. So
Right.
how is she
Right.
doing groceries? How is she doing, just your essentials? Not that you still can't find tissue, but what if she needs some tissue?
Right.
Right.
She doesn't have funds to get those things done. So, there are programs out there trying to help, but it's a process, and you have to be patient.
Yeah.
You have to, I sat online for 2 hours one time trying to fill out some forms, but
Wow.
it just takes time. So,
Thank God for your persistence, though.
well, yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
What about, did you think about it, or would it be something that you would want technical assistance with, maybe?
Yes, I did the unemployment, but don't know. I mean, I haven't gotten, nobody has gotten back to me, or I'd gotten an email or anything. I'm just waiting.
So I got to tell y'all something. Of all of the comments, look, this is something that's blowing me away. They feed me information while we're up here. People have come on here and talked about money. They've come on here and talked about mental wellness. We're getting the most feedback when it comes to hair and nails. All right, so this
Well,
is
we are really essential.
Oh,
right,
yeah.
right,
We really
right.
are. We really
Whether the
are.
government wants to say it or not, we really are essential.
Yes.
Right, y'all are essential. Amen. I like that.
Yes.
So tell me about this whole concept of look good, feel good.
Wow.
Look good, feel good. What does it mean? And I want to throw it up a notch. What does it mean for people of color?
Wow.
Look good, feel good.
You can start with me.
I can start with you.
I can tell you Saturday. I've been in the house Saturday. I got up, put on some clothes, put on some makeup, brushed my hair up. You know that bun my husband hated. But put my hair in a bun and went outside. I felt so good, so good. And that was small.
Right.
That was small to me.
Right.
Just think, I'm my own beautician.
Emotional
So
wellness.
I don't get a kick out of me doing me. But when I do go get my eyelashes done and I get up and I say, oh my God, I look good. I look good. I
Right.
look good to me.
Right,
You
right.
know? So, it's just a wonderful feeling. It's a wonderful feeling. And for me, like I said, I don't get kudos for doing my own hair.
Right.
I can go outside. I just did this to come here.
Yeah,
You know
yeah.
what I mean? But I can go outside. People be like, how did you get your hair like that?
Right.
I've been trying to get that look for a long time. And, this is nothing to me. But if I go to her,
Right.
get these nails done, get my feet done, oh, I feel like a queen.
Right. You know, one of our members, I ain't gonna call her name, but you know, she sit on that second row right there with that platinum blonde hair. I talked to her the other day. I said, what are you doing? She said, I just went and got my hair done. And I said, why'd you get your hair done? You got nowhere to go. She said, I just drove around town.
Yes.
Since I felt better, I got out of the house, and my daughter, her daughter does her hair, so it was okay.
Yeah.
She said she just washed my hair for me, and it felt good. And so I told her, I said, you know, that's what you do. That's what you got to do. Okay, so what is that look good, feel good thing? Come on.
I mean, it just makes you feel good, Pastor. Having somebody else to pamper you and
Yes.
rub on you and, you know, get your pedicure done. And this goes for the men too. Now, you know, men, your
I was about to
wives.
say, when you were saying it, I was sitting there thinking, that sounds good to me too. That ain't just for the women's, that's for the men's too.
You know, it's something for everybody.
I
Everybody
started laying
loves-
back like this here when you said that. Woo, child.
See, just putting you in
I
that
know.
moment.
Right.
Just
Yeah.
made a difference, didn't it?
Oh, that good old shampoo.
Man, I almost took my shoes off. Look at this. Woo.
Yeah, you get that good old shampoo, that good massage.
Yeah, and you know, we have some massage therapists out there too. We have in our own congregation. But how does it, I mean, look good, feel good?
It just looks good. I mean, it's almost like that Cinderella story. You know, when Cinderella was, you know, ran there looking raggedy and cleaning up behind everybody, but when a fairy godmother or her nail godmother or her hair godmother came along and waved that magic wand and made everything great, you leave feeling like you're on cloud nine, whether it's your feet feeling good or your hands, your nails now looking good, and everybody loves a compliment. Come on, everybody loves to have
Everybody
somebody
does.
say,
Listen.
oh, I like that.
Listen, one of our church members just texted me, Connie Jordan just texted me, and she said, you are essential.
Thank
She
you,
said,
thank
there
you.
are at least 50 shades of gray I have become aware of. So, you know, we're in that season, right? Because things that you would normally do, you can't go out and get them done. And so those services, first of all, let me commend both of you all for being entrepreneurs.
Thank you.
I want to, since I've known both of you, you've been leading women. You've been women who have owned it, and I mean, you really own it. I remember some major steps that you've made in your business progression, and I've been there with you through prayer and through hoping you well to the next level. You were on a cruise before all of this happened, and I started praying for you because I said, Lord, just get her home. Because they were stopping cruises in the water. You may not remember that, but right before all of this, I mean, they were literally stopping cruises saying you can't come back in the country. And you always have this covenant of prayer with me that you called me before you travel. I mean, for years you've called me. Never told me to come go with you. You just called me and said you was going. Because I can't know what y'all do when y'all get there. That's what it is. And so I appreciate you for that. And I'm praying for you in this season, most certainly. And then I've watched you transition from saying, you know, this is someone's product line, this is what I do, but now I want to teach it. And you asked me about it. And I even remember when you went to Nashville to be approved.
That's it.
And you had a little trepidation about it. I said, can't nobody turn down what God has already ordained.
That's it, exactly.
And you text me when you got there, when it was over with, and said, it is done.
It is done.
And I remember those. And so this has been recent.
It was back in February, January, late
February, February,
Yes,
right
sir.
in this season. And so I'm so proud of you. I'm so thankful for you. I'm thankful that you all would allow me to be your shepherd in this season.
Always.
I shared with someone, and I want to say this as we prepare to wrap it up. I know that there are people who may have other things that they want to share. You can get in touch. I want you to put their information up there too. You can get in touch with both of these very gifted people. There are seasons of life that we migrate through. When I was born again, I became a minister. I became a servant. When God called me by way of his Holy Spirit, I became a preacher. When the people of Batesville and the people of First Baptist Broad elected me, I became a pastor. But in this season, we are called to shepherd. We are called to lead God's people through wilderness seasons, through seasons of unknown. We don't know what's out there. That's what wilderness is about. Because if the wilderness had a roadmap, it wouldn't be the wilderness. It wouldn't be something. But there are seasons of uncertainty. But here's what I do know. God is a sure and a certain God, and he's going to take good care of you. Listen, I want you to look good. I want you to feel good. And even if you can't get to these people to have your services done for this season, do some things in your own home. Don't just sit around all day, being frumpy and sitting there acting like, well, I don't have a reason to get them go. Sometimes you got to rise up, wake up, and put on your makeup. You got to get out. You got to feel good. You got to take a walk. Some days I get up and go to work and I'll put on that golf shirt, but then some days I put on that shirt and tie. This Sunday when I came to church, I put on my shirt and tie and my robe because it was Easter Sunday, and I wanted to have that feeling and portray that to the young men and the young women in our congregation and the African-American congregation primarily that we serve, who has always gone before the Lord looking their absolute best. And so I thought that was good. And so while you put the information up of these two wonderful people, we're going to come back and we're going to have a word of prayer, and then we're going to get out of here. Go ahead and show their information. I think you got it. All right. Keep it up there for a moment. All right. Well, thank you all for being my guests. And look, I just want to demonstrate to the brothers in the congregation, I am suffering with you. Amen. I have not been able to get my due done. I'm just letting you know that, hey, I'm suffering with you. Amen. All right. But let me tell you something, just like a man used to say years ago, look here, you can bet your last money when we get back with all our gas, honey. I'm Pastor Keith Norman, and in part, I'd like to tell you we wish you love, peace, and soul.